Macedonia 158, and today I'm going to do a sort of like unofficial, if you can call it, video response to Ollie Martin's best and worst games you've played on a system. But I'm going to change the rules for this one. And other people could do this if they want to, but I'm only going to pick one system and a single year's games you've played on it. So let's get on with it. Right, so first game, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Yeah, you might guess I'm picking 3DS. It's Pokemon. It's one of my favourite games, so you shouldn't really be surprised this is on this list at all. It's one of the best games. I'm not really going to go much into this one because everyone knows what Pokemon is. So, next one. Super Smash Bros. 3DS. Actually no, Super Smash Bros. 4 Nintendo 3DS. Stupid name. It's Smash Bros. Really, there's not much else you can really play it like on the system. So, yep. I'm sure most people have a 3DS on this, so this is not going to be a surprise. It's in this list much all, is it really? Alright. Honourable mention. The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. This is an honourable mention because I never actually, even though some of these, even because I never beat the game. I don't know if I got near the end of it, but then I started playing something else. It's just the way this game works though. They changed it how the other Zeldas work. Like you can actually do almost all the dungeons in any order you want. There's no like fixed dungeon route in this one. It's different. Also, it plays like the classic. As you can see by the screenshots, it plays like the classic overhead ones. Which is one of my favourite Zeldas. I was never really into the 3D ones, to be honest. To be overhead, that's Zelda. And there's the cat meowing. Right, jump cut because cat wanted to come out. And now we're going on to games that I liked that I wasn't 100% sure of that would be good or not. But they ended up being good, so yeah, get on with it. Right, so first one. Yeah, this. I'm not making this. Literally is the actual normal cover of the game, and you're probably wondering, what is that? This is Senran Kagura Burst, and this is it's actually a beat 'em up game. Like Streets of Rage. It's only single player, but yeah, he plays a bunch of female ninjas and they run around punching each other and the clothes fall off. Yeah, there's no actual proper nudity in the game or anything. It's a little bit pervy, but it's sort of a fun beat 'em up game if you're into them kind of games. It's pretty much the only beat 'em up on the 3DS as well, so you don't have much of a choice in the matter either. It's not a very hard game though, and the story's a bit strange, I must admit. It's like, it goes from being really goofy and silly, but then tries to be really deadly serious. It cannot decide what it wants to be. And there's a lot of story in this game, if you want to read it. And the gameplay itself is just side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's fun and it's pretty random and interesting. It's the only game I actually got a pre-order bonus for as well. And well, this is the pre-order bonus I got for it. I'll just zoom in on that. Yeah, it's some kind of it's a 3D lenticular poster thingamajig, and that pretty much does somewhat what most of the games like as well. So yeah, it's one of those kind of games. So some people get a bit squeamish over them. Yeah, well that's what this game has. A lot of things in it. Right. If you get over that though, yeah, you'll have some fun with it. Right, now, as I said before, I don't know if I said before, but they don't have to be games released in 2000 and in the year to be in this video. They just have to be played in that year. So here's one of them. Freaky Farms Deluxe. Your Creations Alive. Now, a lot of people don't like this game and saying it was a bit repetitive. And well, yeah, it is a bit repetitive. And I had fun with making my own weirdos and sharing them with people online through Street Pass. It's not perfect, but I actually pretty much 100%ed it, nailing lots all the actual monsters and characters that are actually already built into the game. I doubt most people have the patience to do that, but I did, because I actually felt like doing it. So yep. Also, yeah, you can get the game fairly cheap now as well, if you can find a copy of it. Right, next one. One Piece Unlimited World Red. Yes, that's actually its name. Now this is I was kind of wary about this one because I played the previous One Piece game on the 3DS called Romance Storm, now an RPG. I was very long. It's supposed to be a pretty rare game actually. I think in America they only made 10,000 copies of it on actual cartridge, so in America it probably is rare. I don't know about Europe, but I'm guessing it is, but whatever. I'm not talking about that game. I'm talking about this one. So yeah. This is basically like an action adventure like kind of game. You just run around the field, just picking loads of junk up. Like you got beating pirates and fishmen and all sorts of. Lots to do in the game. While the actual story mode of the game is actually pretty short. And that's one for sure. There's lots of extra side missions to do if you want to do like rebuilding. You have to rebuild a village through the game by collecting items you find on the floor. And every time you find more items and upgrades, and you can go off insect catching, or for some reason you can catch squirrels with an insect net. Yeah, that makes sense. And go fishing, and all these like give you these stat boosters, and there's plenty of characters to play as well. There's like a Colosseum mode where you can actually play as the boss characters, which is good. You beat that and it unlocks more quests in the regular story mode as a new game, plus we want to play the game, replay the story again on harder difficulty. And you can play it up to 4 players if you have 4 cartridges, and it connects up to the Wii U version of the game. Which is where this game gets weird. It's a 3DS game, but it has ports on the Vita, Wii U and PS3. Now, aside from the graphics have been slightly boosted a bit, trust me, the graphics in this game are actually good for the system, I must say that. They're not boosted that much on the new systems. Oh yeah, and there's no online multiplayer in the game. But it's not live on any version of the game, strangely enough. But yeah, you can get this on other systems if you really wanted to play it. You don't have to have a 3DS. I had to pre-order this one actually. Because I knew it was going to be impossible to find. And guess what? I was right. It was impossible to find. I was the only person that pre-ordered it in that entire shop. And I never saw a single actual 3DS copy of this game to this day actually in an actual store, apart from that one I pre-ordered. So yep, there's that as well. Decent game if you can find a copy of it. Right, so this is Final Fantasy Theatrhythm, I think it's pronounced that right. Curtain Call. Now this is a music game. With all the music's based off Final Fantasy games. I mean every single Final Fantasy games in this. I mean in fact it's got music from Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 14. Yeah. Even stuff like Lightning Returns and stuff gets music in this, so there's music for every single game in the series in this. Most of them have about 2 of them have 6 or 7 tracks a piece as well. But yeah, there's a lot of content in this game. There's also DLC in the game that you can spend extra money on, but even without that, there's a ton of content in this game. And you've got over, they're not lying, it literally does have over 221 songs. Yes, they're not remixes, they're all different songs. Has like a versus mode that you can play against other people or online. It's kind of like that versus mode Guitar Hero I had, where you used to fling power-ups at each other to kill each other. You've got versus mode, a quest mode where you play music songs and get items and unlock new characters. Yeah, this is like a weird like RPG like mode to it too. It's still a music game though, so that's definite. Difficulty's pretty balanced on it. Easy's pretty easy, and normal's not too hard, and the difficulty do go harder and harder higher up, but it's not impossible even the lowest difficulty. And even program the game so you can change buttons on the game, which is nice. You can play it either the touchpad or buttons. Yep, play it online. can street pass people and get quests from them and get rare items and stuff. Good game. Lots of content, lasts for ages. I literally must have took me over at least 13 hours to play all the songs in the game, and that's not even getting a good score on them. That's how long, many levels is in this game. Yep. I find it kind of cheap now as well. I think it's gone down in price, so if you're after a music game, this is probably one of the best ones on the system, so go get this. Right, now we're on to disappointing games. Also, this is the worst games on the system. And first, well, this had to be in the list. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal World Duel Carnival. Now, here's the thing. There's quite a lot of reasons why this is on this list. Number one, it doesn't include... It's got mode missing from the previous games. There's no, like, tag mode. There's no online multiplayer whatsoever. Though the DS games had it. Yeah, I don't understand that one, but that's just how this game works. But that's not the biggest problem this game has, because it was like the Japanese version. The biggest problem here is the game is terribly out of date before it got released. It has cards up to October 2013, but this game was released in 2014. So basically, the card list in this game is completely out of date, which might not be a bad problem because you can still play the game, but that's not the biggest problem it has. The biggest problem this game has, there's a lot of content that got removed from this game. Yes, all the cards are still in the game and all that, and all the decks to face and stuff, but essentially, the Japanese version had 40 characters in the story mode to complete as. The version outside Japan only has 12. They literally could not be bothered to translate all the text for the other characters, so they just literally left the decks in the game and booted them out. And the translation's also very short. The entire modes and features like character biographies entirely removed from it. There's loads of typos in the game which are pretty embarrassing, really. And calling a monstrous spell card out. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if you're into card games, there's a lot worse you could do. Yeah, that's for sure. But at the same time, it's that badly typoed and rushed out. In the tutorial, it says you can lock different card sleeve pictures by completing the story mode. Well, they don't do that in this version of the game, because after the story mode's been removed, they're automatically unlocked, but the tutorial still says you can unlock them through it. Yeah. Only thing interesting about this game is it comes with free trading cards, which are only exclusive to Europe currently, because this game is not available physical in America. And here's one of the weirdest things about this game. It's a store exclusive. Though you can only purchase it at Argus. Yes, you heard me right, Argus. You know, which isn't known for being a game store, is it? So even very odd choice there. Really disappointing though. I mean, this is the only Zexal game that's probably going to be made, and they completely screwed it up. I really do think Konami just don't care about games anymore that's not called Metal Gear Solid, and this could be a perfect example. All the other games before this was properly translated, so there's no excuse why they did this so bad. That it was months late as well, so even later in America. Really disappointing. The gameplay plays all fine, so I've still played it, but this was the most expensive disappointing game on this list. Right, so next disappointing game. Spy Hunter. So you can say, well, yeah. Now this one doesn't actually graphically look that bad, especially when it's an early launch game. The biggest problems this game has is the difficulty. It's absolutely ridiculously hard, and there's probably reasons why. See, the DS has two screens, right? Well, they kind of forgot when there was programming this game that the system has two screens. So you think the bottom screen would have like a weird rear view mirror so you can see enemies attacking you from behind in it. No, it just has a power up selection, so you can literally get completely destroyed by enemies that just sneak up behind you, and you'll have no clue that they're behind you, but a little warning arrow. It's like, that's terrible design, and the difficulty is ridiculous. I mean, I can't even get past the first real mission on the game. That's not a tutorial. That's how hard this game is. It's because of your health drains like crazy on the game. It's just stupidly difficult. I know I didn't pay much for this, but if they wrote the difficulty in this game, this actually might be playable. But I think you can also get this on the Vita as well, which might explain which is going to have the exact same problems the 3DS version has, because how the idiots programmed it. I say this could have been good, but they completely screwed it up by just stupid design decisions and making it impossibly hard. And the worst game, yeah, no contest, this one. Puzzle Bobble Universe. Oh, wait a second. Stupid phone going off. Right, so Puzzle Bobble Universe. This is one of the most disappointing sequels and lazy sequels of a good game series I think in history of anything. Being a sequel to Puzzle Bobble Galaxy, which had tons of modes on the DS, which had loads of modes and some original modes that wasn't in any other version. That was a nice good start for the series being really good again. So what do they do with this one? Well, they basically just decided, I know, we're just going to make it a single mode. Yeah, there's one puzzle mode. There's all these in this game is puzzle mode. All other games and series have done that too. There's no split routes in the game, so it's basically just one straightforward line. Which might not sound bad, but then you think about it. There's one mode in this game. That's it. 88 puzzles. That's the entire game. It took me under 4 hours to complete this entire game, and what do you get for completing it? Nothing. There's no extra modes, no puzzles, no unlockables, there's literally nothing. There's some stupid worthless achievement system which doesn't do anything as such. It's just complete garbage. And just goes, yeah, oh, there's a survival mode in the game. You know, like Tetris has since the beginning. Yeah, that's your second mode with a few difficulties. Like a timed mode, like play it for so many minutes and all that. That's classed as a separate mode in this game. There's no versus multiplayer, no online multiplayer. All of basically the best modes this game series had are nowhere to be seen in this game. Even the animation's bad. I mean, the animation's not even as good as the ones on the PlayStation 1. They couldn't even be bothered to animate the game properly. The only good thing I can say about this game is the 3D actually does pop out. That's not really saying much, because the rest of the game isn't very good. Even the music sucks. It's literally just remixed version of the same track of an envy level. The music of the very first Puzzle Bobble, or Buster Move if you want to call it that. And that's just pathetically lazy. I mean, put some effort in, guys. This game has zero effort in it, and this was the last game in the series to get released on a console. It's just really sad. I mean, it's so sad, this game, think about it. The Game Boy Color version of this series had more content than this. Yes, a 20-year-old game version of a game had more content than this. This is just embarrassing. And even, yeah, I know it's only £4 for the thing, but even then it was a complete rip-off. It's just amazing how bad this game is. Little care was put into it. Shame, because it's one of my favourite puzzle games as well, and this one's ruined it. And plus with the phone version, what's the version made after, it's just equally as bad as well. What a shame. Well, that's that done. So, yeah, that was my video response to that. So, thank you for watching. Oh yeah, and everyone else was doing video response to it, they're fine to do so. I'm not going to stop them. So, bye bye.